Okay, so welcome to the third session. So quickly, I just want to show you something. So this is kind of what we've been working towards, an ROI kind of little control program. And like in the last session, we had some panels which showed the data, the ROI, and for those of the looked at the advanced or extras section, we had a preloading image section too. However, I was going to touch on data output, so how we get the data out of this file. But while I was doing that, I noticed that two things. One, I haven't touched on sub-VIs, which is a very useful part of Labview, and I also noticed there was a small bug in what I've been showing you so far, and what we're going to look at is a combination of the two. So very quickly, I'll just show you how the block diagram has now advanced somewhat. So this is the reason why I don't want to show you guys the particular program like there. So right now it's advanced from that small little program to being quite a large expanse of a program. And all of these little characters that you know as VIs, some of which are inbuilt, like this one, some of which I've written myself, like this one and this one, and there's some more further down here, like this one. So what we want to do is actually learn how to make these little sub-VIs first, so that we can call them up. They're standard, I suppose, sub-programs or sub-routines that you find useful and that you might want to use in multiple programs. So it's good to separate out the code so that we can use it over and over again in different places. You can even use it multiple times within the same program if it's a sub-VI that needs to be run multiple times. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at one of these in particular, and that would be this one here. So if we just go to the help, show context help, as it says in the context help, this says filter the list and order folder contents. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell it, give it a pattern to filter the contents of the folder, and also we're going to order these into a numeric order that Labview will understand. So let's double click on this one. So this is the sub-VI that we are going to learn in this session. So this is what the front panel looks like. It's very simple. We have an error in and an error out. This is just so that we can follow the flow of errors through this VI. And also we have the file path, so the location of a file, a pattern that we want to look for, and then the output is just the list of all of these files in order. So let's just go to the block diagram. Okay, this block diagram is made up of three main sections. The first one is choose the file, and then it strips the folder off, and then we're actually going to look at the contents of that folder. This loop lists all of the folder contents and filters the folder contents against the pattern. So what we're looking for in this one, let's just look at the front panel, is we're looking for all files which have the ending ch00.jpg. So that's what filter we're going to use. Then what it does is it orders these into a particular array. But what we have in a combination between here and here is a way of numbering the file names in such a way that we can get around an old numbering scheme error. So one thing that we're going to touch on is if you have a standard pre-Vista Windows installation, or in fact lots of other operating systems, and you have, just like we have here, let me just show you this, and you have numbers, let's say 1, 2, up to 10, and then from 10 you start to go to higher numbers. The way that the numbering scheme works always goes left to right, so most programs will count it in the order of 1, and then the next number which comes along will be 10, not number 2, because essentially we look for the first digit first. So we have 1 and then a 0, and then 100 it comes after that, which is 1, 0, 0. If we had 11, then 11 will be between the 10 and the 100, and then once all of the 1s have been done, then it starts on the 2s. But what we want to do is change this order, and we want it to go 1, 2, 10. So we're coming up with it. And that's one of the things that we'll be able to do with this sub-VI. The reason why I'm picking this out as a particular example is the inbuilt Labview VI that we have been using. So just to show you which one it was, the advanced file functions, this one, known as the recurse contents or recurse file contents or something, recursive file list. This one lists them in like the old Windows format, so then it will list the files 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2, 20, 21, 22, in the way I've just been describing. This is not what you want if your files are being pulled from one program to another and there's no numbering schemes. I have little sub-VIs that can be written into programs called zero padding file lists, so that you, rather than being like 1 and then 2 and then 3, it's actually 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3, so that the first digit of those ones is 0 and not 1. It's important to do this when you can. Not always possible. Lots of programs don't like writing like that, which is why we have the option to write these special kind of reordering VIs or reordering programs to take these things into account. So let's just delete this one because we don't need it. And here we go. If I can show you exactly how this works, let me close this back end. So we have our error in, error out, file path, order, file names. Let me show you a folder that we can work on. Again, we're going to look at Celine's data. That's analysis contents. In this image folder right now, as before, they're all in sequence, but we have these extra ones. We'll go ahead and we'll make another one, just so that we've got another file to look at. ch00. Okay, so we have all of these, but we are effectively filtering for the ch00. So what we expect to see is just 3 files. This one, and this one. So we're going to say, look at this whole folder, filter them in order, filter them and then put them in order. We could even go as far as giving exactly the same example that I am talking about. So we'll call this one 1. We'll call this one 2. And we'll call this one 10. It should be all up here. We should, however, use the same numbering scheme. So under most pre-Vista systems, it would in fact go 1, 10, and then 2. Now, Windows 7 and Vista has they realized that that's not how people write their file names, so it automatically corrects for that. However, Labview runs a more base level system than that, so in Labview the order would get messed up. So what we're going to do here is tell it where this folder is that has all of these files in. So let's just re-find that folder. Okay. And like last time, all we have to do is choose any file. It doesn't have to be one of those files, but it could be this file, for example. It's just using that as a locator for the folder. Okay, and this is the pattern that we're looking for. So if we hit run now, you notice it runs incredibly fast because it's not writing anything. It's all it's doing is looking for names in sequences. Let's just make these so you can see them a little bit easier. Maybe we can expand it this way too. Okay, so as you can see now, it's ordered them 1, 2, and then 10, because that's what we designed this program to do. And we can show how we normally would view them. In fact, I'll pause this just for a second and then I'll show you that program exactly. So welcome back. So all I did was drop on the old recurse the folder contents and then a little indicator. We're using the same pattern. So what we have now on the front panel is an extra, all files in dir. So this is if we use the old format. We rerun the program, and then this, hopefully, let's say 0, 0. So if you look at how it's ordered them 10, 1, and 2, which obviously is not the order that we want them in. It's listing the 1 with something after it first, then the 1, and then it goes to the next index, which is 2. So this is what the inbuilt VI is giving us, and this is what our new kind of sub VI is able to give us. So we're able to reorder the files as we want, and we're making this as a sub VI so that we can use this code over and over again, because actually analyzing a folder's contents, making sure they're all in the right order, is something that you have to do quite a lot. Okay, thank you, and to check out the PDF, it'll just have a block diagram, and there'll be a little descriptor as well. And see you on Monday.